Arsenal lose 3-1 to Man City. Yes, we lost. Yes, we didn't look good defensively. Yes, we didn't create a lot up top. So nothing has really changed. So let's get real, guys. Let's chat. Did we think that anything else was going to happen differently? Now, it's important. This is where I question the ethics of Arsenal players. Other teams can go there and give Man City a good game, and other teams can go up there and beat them. And they just lost 2-1. And they did look fragile today. I mean, in the first half, we kind of really came onto them in the last 20 minutes and probably should have did better than what we did. But the problem's not with, Man City was going through whatever they were going through. The problem is with us. And it's a long-standing problem. And this is why I don't get into Meltdown. And I preach to other Arsenal fans to understand the ethics of what's going on in the club. As long as you understand the ethics and the problems of what's going on, then you will understand that these things just simply can't be fixed in a matter of a season, a transfer window or two, or maybe even 3 or 4. See, here's the thing. Man City and the likes of Liverpool are the top 2 teams in the league at the moment. They have very good managers with proven records. Now, people don't talk about what Klopp has done. Klopp won the title against Bayern Munich twice, and that was a Bayern Munich team at its best, at its peak. He beat them in the league twice. So Klopp is no joke. Klopp is no joke. That's like Emery. And remember, in all fairness to Emery, he took Sevilla from a mid-table team and finished beneath the giants in Spain. But he didn't win the league in Spain. And that's what Klopp did at Bayern Munich. So here's the difference. Man City, over that time, has spent 1.4 billion on players. Let that just sink in for a moment. 1.4 billion. Now, this is sport. There's no governing rules on salary caps or anything. You're free to spend to win. Yeah, we don't see this in athletics and other sports like that because they're governed, and in American sports we don't see it. But it is the fact of how everything is played in football, in world football. So accept it. Yeah. But understand it at the same time. Don't think that we should be at the top of the league challenging when we haven't put anything in, because in this game, you get back what you put in on 2 levels. So let's look at the 2 levels. First, you get back what you put in. Arsenal haven't spent the money to progress in the way that other teams have. 1. 2, Arsenal haven't worked hard as other teams have to be where they are. Koscielny is on his last legs. Mustafi's finished. You've got to get rid of those players. And you've got to look at Rob Holding, Mavropanos, and Callum Chambers is back, who's doing really well at Fulham at the moment. You've got 3 players there along with Bellerin. So you need a steady, experienced, quality head to lead the pack. And personally, I would look at the Wolves captain. I would look at someone who's a solid, experienced centre-back in the Premiership who knows how to defend and understands the communication needed. This question is always brought up with Lee Dixon and Nigel Winterburn. How was you guys so good in George Graham's defence? And their answer is, we had 10 years to perfect that. This is what people don't talk about. Wenger came in, inherited that top 4. They had 10 years to get to where the level was. But here's what Wenger doesn't get respect for. None of them were in the Invincibles. Wenger was able to subside those players, Bold, Winterburn, Adams, Keown, and bring in a new set of players, Ashley Cole, Lauren, Colatore and Sol Campbell. He was able to replace those players, and they were the Invincibles, not Graham's back 4. And Wenger doesn't get the respect for that. But my point is this. Unai Emery has failed to do one thing at Arsenal, and that is revamp the defence. Let them play in a way that they can understand the basics of defence, which is covering runners, keeping your shape. Today we were completely out of shape. Our shape was awful. Yeah, I know it was brought up in the game a few times, but you cannot defend when your shape is that bad and teams are running at you. Now, Man City didn't really have any tactics today. They played with abandon. Pep just said to them, flood Arsenal's box and keep pumping the ball in there, and that's all they did. They didn't care whether Arsenal had scored a goal or maybe two. They knew that they would have scored 3 or 4 today. So they didn't care the fact that they were giving it up. I mean, they were rushing players at us and didn't care about anything else. Whether they lost the ball, and they're really good in possession, so that wouldn't happen. With us, we were losing the ball, we were giving the ball away, Mustafi was giving the ball away. You know, we had Iwobi giving the ball away. Obviously, it cost us the first goal. You just can't play teams at this level like that. You have to have the players in the team who understand what's going on and can execute the manager's plans, and we don't have that. And we know we don't have that. So that's why there's no meltdown. Why would you get upset as an Arsenal fan walking into the Lions Den, getting beaten 3-1, and then giving it I can't believe we lost. No, we lost because we're not good enough, and Emery hasn't sorted out the defence. He hasn't done the basics that you need to do when you take over a team. Now remember, when them guys, Alan Kirbishley, David Moyes, Sam Allardyce, when they take over a team that's fighting relegation, what's the first thing they do? The first thing they do is sort out the defence. They don't care whether they're not scoring any goals. You stop the other team from scoring. You get your shape right, and you understand your assignments and you execute it. And that's the reason why we're starting to see, this is basics, yeah? That's the reason why over the last few years, we've started to see these relegation teams come into the Premiership, and they're hard to break down. Yeah, sure, I mean, Huddersfield are struggling at the moment. But when they came into the league last year, why do you think they was having success? They were able to keep clean sheets. Clean sheets is the basics to success. And Arsenal don't have that. Now, they came into this game having only 1 clean sheet away from home. And people were wondering in the forums why I was saying that it was going to be 3-0 to City. Well, it's going to be 3-0 to City because Arsenal can't stop goals from going in. And if you can't stop goals from going in and you're going into the Etihad, you've literally given away a tactical advantage before the whistle's even blown to start the game. So, I'm sorry guys, but that's how it is. We're not good enough. There's no point moaning about it, because if you're an Arsenal fan with any clout and understanding of how this team has come together, you would already know this. You don't need me to tell you our flaws. We know them, they're there, they exist, accept it, and deal with the fact that unless these things are covered, we're not going to be able to progress. So before the game, in the match thread, when I wrote my match preview, I said, Arsenal started this weekend in 4th place. We're probably going to finish this weekend in 6th. 6 is where we were last year. Goal difference in terms of how much goals we've let in, points that we have is pretty much adjacent to last season. We haven't changed much. But what I want to bring to you guys is, something that struck me ever since we lost against West Ham. Something struck me there, and I have talked about it in my videos. And it's that, where's the pressing? Where's the movement? Where's that change that Emery has brought? It's not there. And I think the players, one thing that was important in the summer is looking at the tremendous amount of training that had gone into the preseason. Emery ran the socks off these guys, trying to get them ready for the type of pressing game that we would need. They're not there yet. We're tired. Our legs are kind of waning. The energy is not there anymore. His team is kind of struggling in that aspect. And I think that it's kind of taken its toll on those guys, because we're not seeing the same level of sharpness. We're definitely not seeing the creativity. That's been covered. The creativity, creatively, we're not seeing the same as even under Wenger. We were averaging 16 chances a game under Wenger. This team is averaging 12. They are way below par. That Man United have spent over 700 million in the last 3 transfer windows. When they dropped out of the top 4, they were spending hard to get in, and Man United have that model to do so. They ended up getting in by winning the UEFA Cup. But the fact of the matter is, Man United had the model to persist on getting in, and they failed in monetary terms. So what makes you think Arsenal are going to spend money to get back in the top four? We need to get more quality players in that are going to turn this club around. And the coach has to tactically, actively change the defensive mindset and discipline of these players. What we got on the field at the moment is just a shambles. There's no discipline. The shape was awful today. I'd like to think that Torreira is trying to get back to his best because they've been playing them in the square and a diamond. That really has affected his form of late, and he needs to be the player who sits back in a diamond and is able to watch everything play out and see how danger is developing so that he can intercept, just like Kante does. And I know Kante's been played out of position at the moment as well. But again, I'll close this out by saying this. It's all about expectations, policies, and what you put in. And unfortunately, we're at the bottom of the pecking order when it comes to that. And I'll repeat one thing I said in the forum today. I said, Chelsea's probably not going to be finishing in the top 2 or 3 anytime soon. The difference between Arsenal and Chelsea is this. If Arsenal's manager finishes 6th, he'll probably keep his job. If Chelsea's manager finishes where he's finished now, in 4th place, or maybe even 5th, he ain't going to be there next season. This is all about ethics and policies and how the club is run and what they're willing to accept. They're willing to accept that. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell when you want to see when the videos are dropping. And guys, seriously, it's just a real thing. I'm coming at you real. And I know some of you lot might not like it or might not even agree with it. But if you don't, share your views with me. I'll be happy to hear them. But this is coming from a complete honest Arsenal fan. And no meltdown from me, guys, because it is what it is. This is what we signed up for. You know, we didn't sign up for a team who had a sugar daddy, oil merchant, cartel, mafia type run team. Yeah, let's remember, before Sheikh Mansour came in and took over Man City, they done locked that Frank Sinatra away who tried to buy the team before that. And you know, when we had Stan Kroenke turning up, our board members said we don't want his sorts. Why? Because they thought that he was going to be someone who would buy his way to success, which is what the board at Arsenal don't want. Once they realised that Stan Kroenke wasn't going to do that and accepted the sustainability model, he had a welcome seat on the board. But guess what? Uzanov, who said, nah, I want to buy the league. I want to buy the best players. I want Neymar. I want Messi. I want Ronaldo. What did they say to him? You're not welcomed on the board, my friend. They didn't say, we don't want your sorts, like they said to Stan Kroenke. They said, you don't have a seat on the board. It's the board, guys. Yeah? That's who we've been way back. Yeah? Before George Graham, before Wenger, that's who we've also been. So understand where we are and understand how hard it's going to be for us to turn this thing around. Support your team, but understand and settle your expectations of what's going on, because we could be in for a really rough ride. All right, guys. Peace out.